Welcome to the Words to Empower podcast, featuring Bishop Frank Stewart, pastor of the Acts Ministry in Conway and North Little Rock, and now Pastor Stewart.
Welcome back to your Acts Ministry podcast. God has blessed us to see a day we've never seen before and a year that we've never seen before. So we keep evaluating where we are and what we need to do, because we've got to slow the year down. We can't just let this year pass and not know where we are or what's going on. We got to slow the year down, because when we slow the year down, then we can accomplish the purpose. We're just not just in a mode of emergencies, a 911 lifestyle where you're just moving and reacting and not thinking. And at the end of the day, you feel awful because you haven't really accomplished anything and you have not focused on the purpose of you being in this world. Purpose. As God said to Jeremiah, before I formed you in your mother's womb, I knew you. There's purpose. There's purpose for us being here, and we want to get to that. We don't want to die. And never understood why we were here. To me, that would be the ultimate, not just sin, but that would be the ultimate regret. You know, to me, it would be, well, it can't be compared to, but think about a bird that thought he was a chicken and lived like a chicken his whole life and never realized that he was designed and created to fly above the clouds. And he struggled, scratching in the dirt when his real identity was concealed from him many times because of fear. So we want to live on the other side of the Jordan. What does that mean? This is where God promised them that he was going to give them, and they had to cross over the Jordan. They had to cross that huge obstacle. It was an obstacle, and the obstacle was even greater once they got there. But God made a way in the midst of the Jordan being flooded for them to go across on dry land. And he made a way for the children of Israel, their forefathers, when they was at the Red Sea. And the same God that made a way for them at the Red Sea and made a way for their children at the Jordan, he's still alive, and he's still doing miracles, and he still want to make a way for us. He'll divide your Red Sea, and he'll fix it so you can cross your Jordan. That's the God that we serve. So today I want to talk about, I believe, the number two, that thing that we need to understand that we must have if we're going to live on the other side of the Jordan. If we're going to live on the other side of the Jordan, there is something that Joshua tells the children of Israel in Joshua chapter 1, verse 10 and 11. I want to reiterate that. It says, Then Joshua commanded the officers of the people, saying, Pass through the camp and command the people, saying, Prepare provision for yourselves. For within 3 days you will cross over this Jordan to go in to possess the land which the Lord your God is giving you to possess. Preparation. The second thing that we must have is preparation. They had to get ready to live on that level. They had to prepare. Now, when you read this, he's talking about preparation physically. There's got to be physical preparation. And it is to, here we're dealing with to the smallest detail. He's telling them to get their food ready, because we're getting ready to go into battle. We're getting ready to cross over the Jordan. And you have to be ready for the unexpected. You have to be ready for whatever is going to happen. And they know that they got to eat. They know that they're human. They know that they're physical. So since they know that, they are making provision for the physical. And that's one thing that we really miss, because we become so spiritual, we don't realize there are some things that we must do to exist in a physical world. There are some things we got to do, and we have to prepare. We have to get ready to live on the other side of the Jordan. We have to get ready after we have crossed that obstacle in our lives. It's going to put us in another place. It's going to put us in another place. So you cannot, and we cannot, spend all of our energies on moving past that major obstacle in our lives. See, he's talking about, okay, the obstacle's going to be taken care of, but you got to be ready after. You got to be ready to live past your greatest obstacle in life. And now once you get past that obstacle, you got to go to battle. That ain't the war. You got to go to war. Because once you get past the obstacle, many people fall short here because they think, man, it's over. I'm done. I've conquered it. And this was the obstacle. No. That was just the obstacle to keep you from getting to what God has promised you. But once you get into the promise, you got to fight.
Stay tuned for more of Frank Stewart. And now for some special announcements.
Thanks for partnering with the Acts Ministries. We value your service and your donations. That's why we've made it easy to make contributions to support our ministry. Simply go to your web browser and click the search bar and type in actsministriesonline.org. Then click Donate Online. It's really that easy. For mobile giving, text the amount you wish to donate to 501-302-4242. That's Simple Give.
And now, more of Pastor Frank Stewart.
You got to fight. Because once you get into the promise, you have not gotten into the purpose. And that is one of the things I think is really, really hurting the kingdom of God. Is that lack of knowledge. God will put you in a place for purpose. The promised land was not the purpose. To get to the promised land was not the purpose. The purpose was to put you in position to fulfill your purpose. And that's what so many people miss. And that's what's going to happen to them. They get to the promised land, and after they get blessed, they begin to think that was purpose. No, that's not purpose. That was God putting you in a position so you can perform your purpose. Brothers and sisters, you have to be put in a position in order for you to be able to execute the purpose God has given unto you. You can't just execute purpose from anywhere. No, you have to be in a certain place. You must be in a certain place if you're going to execute purpose. Because if you're not in a certain place, then you're not going to be able to execute the purpose in your life. So you have to be in a certain place. Then you have to understand that place must be the promised land. What do you mean promised land? It must be the land that God promised you. I'm going to take you to this place. Now don't confuse the promised land getting there to being the purpose. Because once you get there, you're just getting ready for your purpose. They got there and thought that was purpose and began to be like everybody else and to enjoy, as God says, don't forget me. They got there and they forgot because that was not the end. The promised land is not the end. It is the beginning of your purpose. I need to say that again. The promised land is not your end. It is the beginning of your purpose. Purpose. And if you don't understand that, you'll miss it. Because we think, hey, I have arrived. Have you ever heard that said? I have arrived. We've made it over. No, that was not the purpose of that. That was just putting you in position to understand purpose. Can I just talk about this for a little bit? I want to talk about this because you see this. You've seen it whether you realize it or not. And you might have experienced it. You might even made the same mistake. I see people that have come from a place of extreme ignorance, extreme poverty, extreme fear, unrest, extreme chaos. And then when God brings order into their lives, then they think that is purpose. And the ones that needed you to get to the promised land so you can start your purpose, they're destroyed. You know, one thing we've been saying for a long time, and we've been talking about it, is that when the 2.5 tribes got their possession, then their conversation was, we're going to fight until you get yours. We got ours. We're going to fight until you get yours. See, you're talking purpose now. You got talking purpose now. Your purpose in life is not just to get yours. Did you hear what I said? It's not just to get yours. And we fall short on that because once we think we have arrived, and then we end up in a worse place than we were in before because we didn't understand purpose. Promised land is where you do your purpose, where you can actually execute your purpose. But it is not, the purpose is not just arriving there. So here is Joshua telling them, you got to prepare. Get ready. Get ready to live after you conquer the obstacle. And that was Jordan. That was that great test. So after Jordan now, you know, you got Jericho, you got Ai, you got all these enemies you have to fight. So you can possess it, so you'll be able to help others and position others and be a blessing to others. Purpose. Somebody's counting on you understanding your purpose. Your children are counting on you to understand your purpose. Your spouse is counting on you. That church member is counting on you. Those people on the job are counting on you to embrace purpose. Because once you embrace purpose, then you're able to set them free. See, once they got their possession, the tribes on the other side, the 2.5 tribes, they was able to get in a place of purpose. Now I am going to march before you, and I am going to bring you into your possession. Because the purpose is, I got mine, so I got to make sure you get yours. Purpose. And if you don't understand that, then your life doesn't have any meaning. It doesn't have any meaning at all because you're confused. And there are so many of us that are confused that we think once we get there, we fight just to keep what we got. And we hoard it. And we don't understand that we was there to release a ladder back to bring them to another dimension. This is Black History Month. And when you think about Black history, you think about those that gave incredible sacrifice. Harriet Tubman, she had escaped. She had hers. She was out of slavery. But because she was out of it, she was able to start performing her purpose. What was that? Purpose to begin to bring other people out, to set them free. But she couldn't bring them out until she got out. You can't help somebody else with their purpose until you get in the place where you can be effective and reach your ultimate purpose in life. So Joshua is telling them preparation. And when we prepare, we have to prepare in every aspect. You just can't prepare spiritually. You have to prepare physically. And that's what he's telling them to do. Get your food ready. You got to eat. You got to eat. You cannot just not eat. You have to have food because you're body, soul, and spirit. So you got to have nourishment for all three. So what you do, prepare. Now, he told them what they needed to do in chapter 1. He told them what they needed to do in order to get ready, not just to visit the promised land. That is so huge. Those 10 spies went over there and they visit the promised land. I don't know how long they stayed, but they went there and they saw all this huge fruit. They saw how prosperous everything was. And when they came back, they said, we can't possess it. We were visitors. We cannot possess that. It'll swallow us up. Giants are over there. So God is saying, I want you to understand that I'm not just taking you on a vacation to the promised land. I'm not just taking you there so you can see it and not possess it. Now, he's saying something to us, because many times he fixes it where we can get out of the environment we're in. We can get out of it, and he take us to another place. And once we get to that another place, then he asks us questions like, why can't we live like this? Why come we can't have this level of joy, this level of peace, this level of relationship, this type of family? But once he takes us out of the environment of the chaos and places us in an environment of order, he's trying to teach us something. He's trying to incite a question within us. Why come we can't achieve this? Well, he took the Israelites out of slavery, and the 10 spies goes over here, and he's put them there, and he had already promised this is yours, and you're going to have this, but they couldn't see themselves living there because they thought it was just a vacation. They went there to visit. God means for you to live in what he's promised you. Stay tuned as we continue to go deeper in here, talking about living on the other side of the Jordan.
For mobile giving, text the amount you wish to donate to 501-302-4242.
The Acts Church in North Little Rock is located at 1224 Franklin Street. And for a powerful word, join us at 9:30 a.m. for our morning worship service. Bible study is each Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. For more information, go to actsministriesonline.org or give us a call at 501-329-2055.
Thank you for tuning in to the Acts Ministry Podcast. The Acts Church is located at 1423 England Street in Conway and 1224 Franklin Street in North Little Rock, Arkansas. Tune in each day to hear an inspiring word from Pastor Frank Stewart.